Last year, a company paid $920,000 for their goods sold and had operating expenses of $270,000. Let's say their gross sales totaled about $2.8 million, well, but then they had $33,200 in returns and also paid $127 in taxes. Ultimately, I'd like to figure out the net income after taxes, but parts A and B will lead us to that answer. So to start with, let's determine the net sales and gross profit. So I've put these definitions over here, and I'm going to start with net sales. So that would be your gross sales here, but then you're going to subtract off any returns. So we can do this in a calculator if you'd like. So for net sales, that's going to be the gross sales, which is $2.8 million, and we're subtracting off the $33,200 in returns to give us 2766800, so about $2.7 million. Now if you want the gross profit, okay, now we're going to take our net sales, this amount, so I'm going to copy that down, and we're going to subtract off the cost that we paid for the goods that we actually sold. So that is $920,000. So I take that previous number, I subtract off $920,000, and we get this amount. So about $1.8 million. So I'll note that these are dollars. So that is the net sales as well as the gross profit. Okay, now to determine the net income before taxes, we're going to take away everything else from this gross profit except taxes. And that would be, in this case, well, just the operating expenses are the only thing that we have not included. So I'm going to copy down the gross profit, and I'm going to subtract off, so not the taxes, but just the operating expenses, which is this amount. So again, I'm going to type this into my calculator. And okay, now our net income before taxes is 1576800. So, about $1.5 million. And so lastly, the final consideration for part C is, well, what's the net income after taxes? The only thing that we have not adjusted this value for is this number here. So we'll subtract off this to get our final answer. So that is net income after taxes. Okay, so we take that previous amount. Now we're subtracting off this amount in taxes. Okay, and this gives us our net income after taxes, so it's about $1.44 million. And that's it. All right, for parts D and E, let's say that the owner of the company wants to apply for a loan because they like to expand their operations, perhaps building another facility in a different town or something like that. When applying for this loan, they have to report their total liquid assets, that's the amount of money that they have readily available, and then also their total liabilities, the amount of money that they're on the hook for. The acid test ratio says take this number, the assets, and divide by this number, the liabilities. So as a fraction, that's simply 740,000 divided by 688,700. Okay, I'm going to do this right in my calculator, and I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth as needed. Okay, so I get 1.0. It's 7 followed by a 4, so I drop the 4, but I do not increase this number. And so this is the number I get after dividing these two values. the acid test ratio is going to be 1.07 to 1. The idea is the greater than 1 this number is, the better off you are. It's basically saying that when you compare your assets to your liabilities, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So the bigger this number, the further this is away from this value. So in terms of the loan being approved, usually the starting point is like a 1-to-1 ratio. And as long as this number is greater than 1, then okay, yeah, it would be approved. So I'd say this loan will be approved. And if this number was less than 1, like 0.7 or something like that, in the fraction, it just means that your assets is less than your liabilities. And that's not a good thing for approving a loan. And that is it for this quiz.